What's that? Over there!
The wilderness is full of remote encounters that completely defy logic. From a lone camper hearing an impossible whisper right in his ear to terrified miners trapped in their cabin by 7-foot giants hurling rocks, these moments blur the line between reality and nightmare. Are these just wild campfire stories, or is something massive actually hiding in the woods? While spending a calm day boating in Saskatchewan, a family saw something unusual moving along the distant tree line.
Me and my family were boating when suddenly we seen something on the shore.
What's that? What's that?
As they zoomed in, a tall, dark figure came into view, its size and proportions much larger than any person they had ever seen. They continued recording in disbelief as the figure moved with slow, deliberate steps across the shoreline before disappearing into the dense forest.
Over there!
The encounter ended quickly, but the sight left them stunned, unsure whether they had seen a rare animal, a mistaken person, or something far more mysterious, leaving behind the question of what exactly was moving along that remote shoreline. Deep in an unknown forest, a group of friends were riding when something unexpected was captured on camera. One person filmed as another drove an ATV through shallow water until the rider suddenly came to a stop. A large, upright figure, possibly around 7 feet tall, moved steadily through the trees. The rider remained still, while the camera continued recording, neither person certain what they were looking at. The moment left them questioning whether it was a person, a trick of distance, or something closer to the legendary Beast of Gum Hill. During a calm day at the beach, a family was enjoying the quiet scenery and filming their surroundings when something unexpected caught their attention. While recording the shoreline, a tall, dark-skinned figure suddenly came out from behind a group of rocks, walking upright and moving with steady, deliberate steps along the water's edge. The family continued filming in stunned silence as the figure moved farther down the beach before the footage suddenly cut off. The brief encounter left them questioning whether they had recorded an ordinary person, a trick of distance and lighting, or something far more mysterious moving along the coast. During a Christmas gathering in northern Minnesota, a family's celebration suddenly shifted when they noticed movement outside in the snowy yard.
What was that?
Oh my God. Did you see that?
Something's behind the garage.
Stepping out to investigate, they scanned the area and saw a towering figure walking near the house.
Oh my God.
Seeing it clearly with their own eyes left them stunned, unsure of what they had just witnessed. Could this have been an ordinary person in the wrong place? Or was it something like Bigfoot moving through the snow? A snowy trail ride suddenly changed when something massive crossed a hill ahead of two bikers.
Bike inadvertently captures something walking away. This is the closest view of the
with one of their cameras capturing the moment. As they rode through the mountains, a towering figure came into view on the path, moving slowly and deliberately, its oversized footprints pressed deep into the snow, far too large to belong to any person.
catches the same subject, as it walks up into the tree line and as the two bikers continue on with their trek.
The same figure was recorded again as it continued toward the tree line, never running or trying to hide, simply walking forward as if it belonged there. The bikers watched in disbelief, relieved that the creature showed no signs of aggression. If this was Bigfoot, it seemed unusually unafraid of being seen, leaving them wondering what else might roam those winter trails. A family entered the wilderness for target shooting, not expecting how unusual the day would turn.
You gonna try the shotgun?
Try the helicopter.
As they started firing, a helicopter circled above, staying long enough to feel out of place. At the same time, in the distance,
Whoa, that was a big kick. You okay, Brock? You okay?
a large, dark figure moved quickly between the trees, going unnoticed by the family. The moment raised a troubling possibility: was the helicopter observing them, or following something far more mysterious, moving through the forest? Deep in the Alaskan wilderness, a man camping alone began to sense something unusual nearby, filling him with unease as he stepped out of his camper.
Every time I almost have the guts to get down, I can't.
And carefully approached the dark forest. Strange sounds echoed through the trees, and shifting shadows made the night feel unnaturally tense.
There's one right over here. And one right over here. Speak on up.
As he listened, a faint whisper carried through the woods before something or someone seemed to speak directly into his ear, leaving him frozen in fear as a massive, shadowy figure emerged in the darkness. The encounter raised a chilling question. Was he experiencing a natural woodland illusion, or did he come face to face with something truly unknown moving through the Alaskan night? In July 2023, a man hiking along a remote forest trail recorded footage of what may be one of the clearest Bigfoot sightings so far. He initially believed he was filming a large bear concealed in the brush, but the figure slowly rose upright, revealing a thick, muscular humanoid form walking away on two legs with long, steady strides. When zoomed in, the creature's fur appears naturally contoured to its body, and its broad shoulders and domed head match classic Sasquatch descriptions. The location was deep within dense woods, making the sighting even more puzzling. Clear evidence of Bigfoot, or a simple case of mistaken identity. What do you think this hiker actually filmed? In the summer of 1924, deep in the shadow of Mount St. Helens, 5 miners believed they were alone in the wilderness. They were wrong. Fred Beck and his crew had set up camp near a narrow gorge, but soon something frightening took place. The men claimed they were attacked not by bears or bandits, but by hairy ape-like figures, standing nearly 7 feet tall with glowing eyes and large feet. The creatures began hurling heavy rocks at the cabin, striking the walls, clawing at the door, and trying to break inside. Trapped and terrified, the miners fired their rifles into the darkness, hoping to drive the attackers away. The siege lasted for hours. By morning, the figures had retreated back into the forest. The men, shaken and exhausted, abandoned their camp and fled the mountain, going straight to authorities with a disturbing account. Locals later named the place Ape Canyon, a name that remained, but questions persisted. Skeptics argued it was a hoax, possibly pranksters or mass hysteria. There were no footprints, no bodies, no proof. Yet, Fred Beck insisted it was real, even later suggesting supernatural involvement. What truly happened that night in Ape Canyon remains unknown. A man driving along a quiet country road in Manitoba featured on the channel Don Barnard in a video uploaded on August 16, 2012, noticed a tall, dark shape standing in the grass beside the road. He quickly started recording, believing the large, shadowy figure, tall and bulky, with what appeared to be dark hair, might be Bigfoot. The figure stood near the edge of the open countryside before moving away, leaving the man convinced he had captured something unusual on camera. The moment passes quickly, but something about the size and stillness stands out. What do you think was actually there? Back in 1969, something unusual began occurring along Greer Island near Lake Worth. Witnesses described strikingly similar encounters with a tall, hairy figure stepping out of the darkness, its eyes glowing, and its presence deeply unsettling, not fully human and not entirely animal. Some claimed the creature acted aggressively, even appearing threatening, while others said it kept its distance, watching silently before fading back into the night without leaving a trace. What continues to drive this mystery is a single image, the Alan Plaster photo, one of the only pictures ever linked to the legend. To skeptics, it is nothing more than a staged trick or a visual illusion, but to others it stands as evidence that something unexplained once moved along the shores of Lake Worth and possibly still does. What do you think was really seen there? A video recently surfaced online, and it immediately drew attention. There is almost no information connected to it, no clear source and no context, making it difficult to determine what is real and what is not. What the footage shows is unsettling. Someone recording notices something hidden in the brush. They slowly zoom in, trying to understand what they are seeing, and then a face comes into view staring back at them, not moving, not fleeing, just watching. With no clear background or details to confirm what was captured, the moment remains open to different interpretations, yet the stillness and the way it watches back make it hard to dismiss. The lack of movement adds to the tension, leaving the scene unresolved in a way that lingers. What do you think is actually being shown here? The Kentucky Bigfoot Research Organization shared details about their video explaining that on December 20th, 2017, at around 3 p.m., they recorded a series of unusual whooping sounds. A small rock had been thrown shortly before, and a tree knock was heard later.
That's good.
These events took place at Tom Shea's research location. The audio was captured by placing a digital recorder with omnidirectional microphones in a tree about 20 feet away. They cooked burnt bacon for about an hour in an attempt to attract a squatch. The recording was later processed by Monongahela to improve clarity. The sequence of sounds and timing leaves the moment open to interpretation, especially with how it was recorded. What do you think could have made those noises? This image was taken by a hiker in a quiet forest somewhere deep in the woods. At first, nothing seems unusual, just trees, fallen logs, and an empty landscape. But on closer inspection, a figure appears to be standing among the trees, tall, dark, and upright. The figure is unclear and open to different interpretations, but its shape and position make it difficult to ignore at a glance. What do you think is really standing there? A video was uploaded by the YouTuber The Facts by howtohunt.com after receiving the clip from a follower and deciding it was too notable not to share. The footage shows a tall bipedal figure moving across uneven terrain from a distance. It crosses slopes and rocky ground that would be difficult for a person to navigate, yet it keeps steady balance and moves with a smooth, consistent pace. Each rise and drop in the terrain would normally make walking harder, but the figure handles it with ease. Even so, the distance, the movement, and the surroundings make it difficult to clearly identify what is actually being seen. The way it moves feels controlled, yet remains uncertain. What do you think it could be? During a hike through the forest, someone noticed something unusual and took a photo. Later, they uploaded a black and white version of the image to the Bigfoot subreddit. The photo appeared to show a dark shape standing behind a tree stump. Some viewers believed it might be Bigfoot, while others quickly dismissed it. Many later suggested the shape could simply be a shadow, a broken branch, or a trick of perspective in the trees. But when you first look at the picture, what do you think it shows? A hunter set up a trail camera in a forest during the fall season to capture wildlife. Later, while reviewing the footage, he noticed something unusual. The video shows two dark figures moving upright through the trees. Their outlines are visible, but no clear details can be seen. The camera stays fixed as the figures pass through the frame. Because of the low clarity, the footage does not confirm what they are. What do you think the camera recorded? A trail camera placed deep in the forest was intended to capture local wildlife. Later, while reviewing the footage, the owner saw a deer calmly walking past the lens. But the deer wasn't alone. Behind it, a large hairy figure stood upright among the trees. The figure remained mostly still, shifting slightly at one moment. In the background, what looked like a small structure made from arranged branches could also be seen. The scene made many viewers pause. If you were watching this trail camera footage yourself, what would you think you were seeing? A teenager was hiking alone in a remote forest in the United States when he heard movement ahead and started recording. The camera briefly captured a large, primate-like figure moving low on all fours, appearing across the path in a few frames. The body looked bulky with fur stretched tightly over it, and what seemed like muscle movement underneath. The teenager quickly turned and ran, while the figure remained back in the trees. He never gave a clear explanation for what he believed he had seen. An Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife biologist named Dave discovered a footprint in Salmonberry River Canyon inside Tillamook State Forest on February 1, 2025. The print measured about 10 to 12 inches long and roughly 5 to 6 inches wide. The track appeared human-shaped and was found in a remote winter area where no barefoot person was known to be present. The discovery followed earlier reports from the region, including sightings of tall figures, strange wood knocking, and unusual nighttime screams. Some think the print may have been misidentified, possibly shaped by melting snow or shifting ground. But if you found a track like that during a quiet hiking or camping trip, how would you explain it? In 1987, 16-year-old Teresa Ann Beyer from Fresno disappeared during a camping trip in Ghost Canyon near Shut-Eye Peak in the Sierra Nevada. She had gone into the mountains with 43-year-old Russell Skip Welch, an older acquaintance she had been spending time with. A few days later, Welch returned alone. At first, he told police Teresa had simply run away. Later, his story changed and he claimed she had been abducted by Bigfoot. When search teams reached the area, they found a campsite that seemed unusual. Some items looked staged, and there was no clear sign of where Teresa had gone. Despite extensive ground and air searches, no trace of her was ever found. A helicopter later spotted Welch's shirt in the area, and it tested positive for meth. Welch was charged with child stealing, but was eventually released and no further charges were filed. Over time, the case went cold. Many investigators believe Teresa likely met with foul play, and that the Bigfoot story may have been a distraction. Still, the case is sometimes discussed by people interested in wilderness mysteries and remote camping disappearances. Nearly 4 decades later, Teresa Ann Beyer has never been found. So, what do you think really happened in Ghost Canyon? This video reportedly comes from a Facebook live stream recorded on a property in Batesville and later shared on TikTok.
What the is that? What is that?
What kind of car is it?
Go get the pistol. Go look under the seat and get the gun.
Yeah, it is.
Look up under my seat. Look up under the pickup seat. Get the pistol. Yeah. I don't know what the that is, man. Oh my God. This is real, man.
During the stream, the camera captured a strange figure moving in the distance near the property. The person filming believed the figure was close to his home and reacted to what he was seeing. Some viewers think it could have been a person, an animal, or a trick of distance in a rural area where people hunt or go camping. But what do you think the camera captured? A homeowner received a motion alert from a Ring security camera late at night. When they checked the footage, a dark shape could be seen moving near the fence behind the house. Instead of the usual wildlife from the nearby woods, the shape came out of the trees in a low position and then rose higher as it moved closer to the camera. The figure appeared tall and somewhat humanoid inside the yard. The homeowner shared the clip online but could not identify it. What do you think it was? A man and his wife were driving along a forest road during the day when they came across a fallen tree blocking most of the trail. They stopped briefly before continuing on. The wife took a quick photo of the scene. Later, after arriving at their cabin, they showed the picture to their family and noticed something unusual near the end of the fallen tree. A dark shape appeared, hunched with broad shoulders and a rounded head just above the leaves. Looking closer, a second faint form seemed to be visible behind it, partly hidden by branches. Some people think shapes like this can happen because of shadows angles, or pareidolia, especially in wooded areas where people hike or go camping. But when you look at the photo, what do you think those shapes really were? A man was reviewing footage from a trail camera placed deep in a forest when he noticed something unusual. The image showed a broad, heavy shape sitting low on the ground with its head bent forward. The shape did not clearly match any known animal from the area, but it also did not look fully human. Because the footage lacked detail, it was difficult to identify what it was. Some think it could be a person in bulky clothing, while others suggest lighting or camera angles caused the strange shape. A man and his son were driving to cut firewood when they noticed something moving across a road on a distant ridge about 400 yards away. They slowed down, and the son grabbed a camcorder from the back seat. By the time the recording started, the figure had already crossed the road and moved behind a pile of rocks. Because of the distance, no clear details could be seen. The video shows the last moment before the figure disappeared into the woods. The clip was later posted online without stating what it was. What do you think was moving on that ridge?
That's it for tonight. Which moment creeped you out the most? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story? Share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.